Hi curl friends, welcome back to my channel, Outrageous Curls. In today's video I'm going to be talking about hair porosity. My mum actually inspired me to do this video because she watches my videos, as I would imagine most mums do, supporting their kids doing YouTube channels. And she gave me some feedback on one of my videos, and she spotted that when I was styling my curly hair that I still had like some bits showing, if that makes sense. So you know, sometimes when you apply products to your curly hair, sometimes the moisture hasn't absorbed properly, and that's when I explained to her like, oh, the reason why is because I've got low porosity hair, and because my hair is low porosity, what that means, it's harder for the products to get into my hair, so I have to sometimes really work it in, and then it will slowly absorb into my hair strands. And she was like, oh, it would be good to explain that. So I thought, you know what, actually she makes a really good point, and this is a good thing to understand, especially when you first start out in your curly hair journey, because it can look that way, like when you are applying products to your hair, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, it's not absorbing in, and you kind of do get a little bit worried. But there are techniques, and I'm more than happy to break it down and explain this further. As I said earlier, I have low porosity hair, so what that means, my hair it looks healthy and shiny, but the problem is that my hair strands are closed. So what that means, it's hard for moisture to go into my hair, so I have to find different ways to absorb the moisture in. If you do not know what your hair porosity type is, whilst I remember to say this as well, you can check out this video here to try and figure out what hair porosity type you have. So if you do have low porosity hair after doing that test, so if you're similar to me, what you have to do is you have to use warm water when it comes to styling your hair. So when it comes to like washing, I use warm water. The only time I use cold water is when I am rinsing my curly hair out using a deep conditioner, just because I really want to make sure that the deep conditioner stays in my hair. But most of the time you do want to use warm water, because the reason why is because it will help open the hair strands up so it can absorb moisture in, whereas cold water helps close the hair strands. So this is better for other hair types, which I'll explain further later. Also, with low porosity hair, you don't need a lot of protein. Like, this was something that took me a little while to understand, especially when I first started my curly hair journey. When you are transitioning from heat damaged hair, like where you've straightened it and relaxed it, your hair has literally no protein, which is why it's so weak and brittle and dry. So you need something to help strengthen the hair strands so that you can grow your hair again. So protein is a good way to do this, such as like an egg, like raw egg and coconut oil, or you can use like your favorite oil, like Jamaican black castor oil, and there's so many other DIY hair masks that you can do to help add protein into your curly hair. And when I was doing this when I had damaged hair, and because I got into a habit of doing that regularly, like every 2 weeks or once a month, over time my hair had changed. And this is when I have now low porosity hair. My hair doesn't need it that much anymore. It's a lot stronger and healthier. So that's when I had to try and make sure I was avoiding products that don't have a lot of protein in it and have things that are still strengthening but not specifically protein targeted. So really good products that you can try out that are protein free. I'll just share a few images here, and I'll provide some names as well, and I'll put some links below as to where you can get those products. Another thing for low porosity hair, when you are deep conditioning, you are applying product, and sometimes, like I said at the beginning of the video, it looks like product is sitting and it's taking a little while for it to soak into your hair. This can happen with deep conditioners, unfortunately, because you do have to let it sit in your hair, and sometimes when you are letting it sit in your hair for about 30 minutes to an hour, it looks like the product hasn't really soaked in well. So one good thing that you can try out if you have low porosity hair is using like a heating cap or a steamer. So something where it just gives your hair a bit of heat to allow the product to absorb into your hair strands, because again, we need to use warm water, something warm, to help open the hair cuticles up. So a heating cap is a good thing to use when it comes to the deep conditioning process. And honestly, when I started doing that, I noticed such a difference with my hair, because I did struggle when I first started, when I figured out that my hair type is now low porosity hair. So I had to try and figure out, like, how can I get the deep conditioner to absorb into my hair a lot easier again? So heat is a good way. Using a heating cap or a steamer is a good way to do it. Also, it is important to clarify your hair at least once a month. Like, definitely make sure you are clarifying your curly hair. in general for all hair types, but especially low porosity hair, at least once a month to remove all that product buildup. So it's a good reset. If you aren't sure about what the clarifying process is or what products you use for clarifying, I'll just share a few videos linked above here. These are our videos on how you can clarify your curly hair. So medium hair porosity, you kind of got the best of both worlds. So your hair cuticles are basically sort of open and sort of closed, so it's allowing moisture in and out all the time, and it's sealing it up really well. So really it's just trying to focus maintenance when it comes to this hair type. So you don't want to overdo it with this hair type at all. You don't want to go too heavy handed, so you try and make sure you find a good balance. Again, this does take time, and over time you do get to figure this out when you get to know your hair better. But if you do feel like you've put way too much product into your hair, what you can use is like a microfiber towel to just help soak in the moisture and the dampness, so you can just like squeeze it out. And this is a good way to make sure you aren't overdoing it with your curly hair. And this is again another technique that you can do in general for all hair types if you feel like you've gone a bit way too heavy handed with hair products, because it's something we can easily do all the time. So you want to make sure you are protecting your hair at night, so use like a satin scarf or a satin pillowcase to make sure you're keeping it well protected, so you are keeping that moisture in your hair as much as possible. So you want to try and avoid using a cotton pillowcase. This is the same again for all hair types, but more specifically for medium hair types, just to help keep that moisture in, because you are losing moisture at the same time, unlike low porosity hair. So you just got to make sure you are keeping it well protected. And when it comes to refreshing this hair type as well, you don't want to overdo it, so make sure you aren't piling on loads of products that is just building and building up. You just want to use like maybe some water in a spray bottle and just spritz over, smooth the hair strands, and you can reactivate the products that way in your hair. So for high porosity hair, this hair type is losing moisture all the time. This is hair strands that are damaged from like heat or color maintenance, from hair dyeing, things where you are altering your curl pattern. So these are damaged hair strands, and what happens with this hair type, it's different to the other two where it's just losing moisture all the time. So that's why it is constantly dry. So this hair type's really key focus is moisture. So good techniques to help with this hair type is making sure you are deep conditioning regularly, at least once a week, if not 2 times a week, to help to keep adding moisture into that hair strand, into the hair as much as possible to prevent dryness. And when you are rinsing, use cold water to help seal in the hair strands so that they do close and seal the moisture of the product. And avoid heat as much as possible. You don't want to do anything that can make your hair even more damaged. So try and make sure you aren't overusing heat when it comes to this hair type. And when it comes to deep conditioning, unlike low porosity hair, for high porosity hair, you do need to use protein treatments at least once a month. So you want to use things, like I said earlier, like an egg with coconut oil to just help strengthen the hair strands, because your hair is weak, brittle and dry. So you want something to help improve that length retention, help with that hair growth, and help with the overall health of your hair. So protein treatments are definitely key for this hair type because it is weak and brittle. And also when you are applying products to this hair type, you want to layer it so that it's sealing, because the hair cuticles are open, so it's just going in and literally going out. So you want to do something where it will just help seal in the moisture. So you're applying products, closing it, applying products, closing it, so it is not getting dry and brittle. So a good technique is the lock method. So that's liquid or leave-in conditioner, oil, and then follow up with a curling cream. This is a good way of sealing moisture in this hair type as long as possible. And this is also perfect for the winter months as well, where our curly hair is more prone to dryness. But for high porosity hair, this is something you should try and do all year round to help keep that moisture in, keep that hydration in, and you'll notice such a difference with the health of your hair. So the most common people that would have high porosity hair, is people who are transitioning. So this was like myself when I first started. My hair was high porosity because it was so weak and brittle and damaged. And then over time my hair changed because my natural hair type grew out. So then that's when I noticed the difference of going the polar opposite to low porosity hair. So it was two extremes, which was insane. Whereas if you are lucky enough to get medium porosity hair, it's a little bit easier where you can find that balance and you just got to maintain it. And yeah, I hope this video helped. If you had a similar question or questions, if you thought the same thing as my mum did in one of my videos regarding how like my hair, it looks like products are sitting in my hair, but they're not. It's just the process of my hair type trying to absorb the moisture in. So porosity, I have to say, is such a good thing to understand because it makes such a difference with your hair. It makes such a difference of knowing what your curly hair routine should be, but also what products would work best for you. And this is something I do highly stress. Try not to focus on the curly hair pattern that you have. Try and focus more on the porosity hair type you have, because once you understand that, then your curl definition will start to come through over time, and then you can get a better idea of what your curl pattern is, and then you know what products that you would need to use to help style your hair, because that's what your curl pattern is. Porosity is the key one for moisture and hydration. And that is it, curl friends. Comment below, do you know your hair porosity type? Let me know, as I'd love to hear about your experiences. If you've got any questions as well and you're not sure about what products would be best, comment below and we'll come back and help you out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned to my curly hair uploads. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the curly hair fun. I hope you guys have a lovely week. Keep it fun, keep it curly, stay true, and see you in the next video. Bye.